Radio. What? I haven't grown in the night. I've groaned a few times tonight. Alright, this is going to take one or take two. I can't walk, so you've got to be in the right place all the way through. I hate this song. I take one on dead days. Walking in the midnight streets of my childhood town, wondering if any of those I knew back then were still around. Did they grow and achieve all of their dreams, or did their river of life turn out to be dried up streams? My daddy, he had the wrong color name. He crossed the sea, a better life to claim. Hard-working man for all the good it did. Never struck all the gold, no matter how much he did dig. How he met my mama, he never did tell. Guess he didn't know that she was none too well. For 10 long years he turned the other cheek. With time ticking by, eventually new pastures did he seek. My mama, she tried to poison up my mind. Your daddy's no good, he's left us behind. If only I could have known what she had in store. I was her frontline pawn in her warped kind of war. One night for him, she did lay await, everything planned for the seal our fate. I heard him talking to her by the side of their bed. Next sound I heard was her hidden hammer caving in his head. I held my breath for an eternity, sure as sure could be that her next stop was me. Son, your daddy attacked me, I had to defend myself, as if everyone slept with a hammer on their bedside shelf. Didn't see Daddy too much after that night. He survived but never again was he right. He asked me to go and be homeless with him. 10 years old, what was I supposed to answer then? It's just the two of us now, my mama said to me. But a new man moved in within a week or 3. He waited a month before the violence began. I waited an hour before I packed some things and ran. I became a loner that very year. No one wanted me around, it was all too clear. Learned to fend for myself before secondary school. Right about then I stopped following all the rules. It was a pretty bad estate where I grew up. You had to be fast on your feet or else you get cut. There was booze and blood behind every curtain. Army or prison, the only options out that were certain. Can't remember when I realized we were poor, I always knew, though the other kids had more. The own home children would yell, look at the scruff. Not easy to shut out that kind of stuff. The pretty girls in class, they would float by my eye, but with holes in my clothes, I didn't even try. Once a blonde beauty told the class, this is my beau. Then she laughed in my face, and more as my tears did flow. My marks were good, but I let them slide. Still see my mama's smile as he flayed my hide. After a while, you stop feeling pain. 50 years on, history's coming round again. 2-mile walk to school, even further back. Bullies in the alleys waiting to attack. Stand up for yourself, the teachers would say. Then they lock you in with them and bar the exit way. Tried to find the brother I'd never had, but the rules, the playground, they were ironclad. You got no money, no comics, and you got no toys. The girls don't want you, and there's no entry in with the boys. One day I was walking down the river track. The dredgers were there, and this time I fought back. What was pent up, it came pouring out. Once I started punching, the outcome was in no doubt. I looked down at my bleeding revenge, crying up to me, please don't hit me again. Right then and there a choice had to be made. Become one of them or live in an outcast shade. Next few years, swift by they did glide. If you don't want to come in, you don't mind the outside. There's many worse things than being alone, like looking in the mirror and seeing someone you've never known. And excuse me shatters my reverie. I might be wrong, but didn't you used to be? I shake my head and she says, my mistake. 50 years on and finally the chains start to break. I look around me one last time. Whoever's town this is, it was never mine. I've known ups and downs and twists and turns, but they never left and I never did return. I can't go on down. Came to me very late last night. I was trying to record it at midnight. Blind and dark. Anyway, That's a song I never wanted to write. I couldn't believe it when that came out of me last night. Because I was saying goodbye to my beautiful son. I had to tell him that he'd never see his daddy again. And I guess I brought that back. I don't know. And, Dylan and Emily, if you ever get to see this, that's a true story. That really is this. I'll tell you about Daddy, since you'll never hear it from my own lips, I guess. I meant to say to you last night, Dylan, Emily, if you're wondering when Daddy's recording this, I'm recording it about 5 minutes before I'm going to fall over. What's the date today? Oh yeah, so Emily, you are 11 years, and I'll do the maths here, 11 years and 12 days old, Emily. Okay, and Dylan, you are 12 and a half. Well, just slightly under 12 and a half now by a few days, okay. 12 and 5 bar 3. 12 years, 5 months bar 3 days. And I said more to you in that hour last night than I ever spoke to my daddy, or he spoke to me in the whole 10 years that I knew him. I'll tell you a true story on here. There could be a postscript for this. The only thing I changed there was hammer. It was a socket set that she hit him. Socket. It was a ring hammer. That's what she stoved his head in with. And I can tell you now, folks, you will never forget the sound of a human skull. And I can still hear it now. It sounded, if you can imagine an orange with an eggshell around it. That is the closest sound I've ever done. But here's strange perceptions, I'll tell you that. So that's my side of the story there, yeah. Oh, I can't remember when I left the army. How old was I when I left the army? Was it before I went in the army, or was it after I came out? Just after I came out of the army, I think. And the invalid of that after being smashed off on an army exercise. Anyway, the gist of the story is, someone enforced a contact with him I really didn't want to know. And we saw each other maybe 3 or 4 times after that in a pub. And I dropped hints, you know, all the time, you know. No, I must have been before I went in the army, surely. I can't remember now. Goodness me. I'm trying to picture it now. No, it couldn't be, because I joined the army when I was 15, yeah, so it had to be when I came out. Before I moved away, obviously, when I was 19. He died when I was 19. So, it took place before he died. So we saw each other about 3 times, and he sort of gave me a $5, which I guess was the equivalent to, I don't know, maybe 20 quid now. And the last time I saw him, and he said, well, son, he said, you only call me when you want something or you want some money. He hadn't given me a penny since I was 10 years old, you know. Nothing. You know, nothing for clothes or pocket money for comics or school, and he made no attempt to contact me. I only thought about this a few weeks ago, actually. Strange what comes back to you when you're near the end of your life. I never got to tell him that in person, so, you know, what good would it do in any case, you know, it doesn't matter. The reason I mention that is because I sent my beautiful son and my beautiful children, I sent them £20 last night for Robux and Genshin crystals on top of the £100 that I sent them at the weekend. And my son said to me, He said, "You don't have to do this, Daddy." He said, "We don't want you going without anything." I just melted, you know. What a wonderful Santa. I said, "Dylan," I said, "after I paid all my bills, my money and our money," I said, "ever since you've been born, we've been a partnership of equals, but I have the controlling interest." You want to hear that song again? I wrote that last night. It came out all in one go. I rewrote it before I went to bed to go in my new lyric anthology. Blasted helicopters. They came over twice during that song. I'll know later when I never play my own stuff back, but only you will know if you've got this far. Can you hear them? Living next door to an air base. This is just after Donald Trump has decided that to rename the White House the Kremlin House. And joining forces with Putin invade. I'm going to have Greenland and Canada, and you can have Europe. Okay, that sounds fair. And then we'll both team up and destroy the Chinese. Oh, yes, Donald, yes. Me and G would never double cross you, Donald. You're so clever, Donald. And Elon Musk, thanks. Thanks for giving Elon Musk access to everyone's social security numbers so we know every American serviceman and all the services and where they live. So if you go to a book of mine called Purification, it's got the rewritten lyrics. I got no printer to print mine, so that's the original handwritten lyrics as they came to me. And one blonde beauty told the class, "This is my beau." Then she laughed in my face, and even more as my tears did flow. Hey there, Melanie. I hope you married badly. He said with some humor. Okay, I might try that again. Goodness me, my eyes are seizing up so badly. Right, I agree with you, Star. Right, that song's called Dead Days, in case I didn't introduce it.